Okay, so let's talk about what surgeries, when were the surgeries and how many surgeries did you have?
12 total. 12 surgeries total.
12.
Yeah.
And were they all in the abdomen pelvic region?
With the exception of my wrist that I broke.
Okay, all right. So that means that we have 11 surgeries right in this area.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, so how hard do you find it to lose weight?
Extremely.
Okay, and you've had so many surgeries that you no longer have a belly button.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, so what we need to understand is this: with every surgery, okay, with every surgery, surgeries cause more scar tissue than anything else you can do. One surgery can cause more adhesions in your abdomen than eating the worst diet a lifetime. Okay, and what happens is when you get a surgery, those adhesions, the problem is you can get scar tissue from inflammation, from, you know, alcohol or drugs or not eating properly. But here's the thing, when you get surgery, it's different. Now I'm going to tell you, and people do not believe this. There's a lot of things that I've been talking about over the last couple of years. How long have you been following me?
Since the truth about cancer, so 5 years.
Okay, so do you notice that I talk about things nobody talks about?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? When I first started talking about self-love and self-care, it was like I was coming against the state.
Yes.
Yeah, and I still get lots of stuff and calls and bantering at me. So, you know, here's the situation. So when you get surgery, and sometimes you have to have surgery, but remember something. Doctors are the last option. Coming to me should be the last option. It should be parents looking after each other, couples looking after each other, and couples looking after their children, but nobody knows how to do that.
Yeah.
Right. So I understand. So this is why we get into this situation, right? So all this had to happen to you to go, enough of this. We got to find a way. So we've tried everything else. So let's go to the weirdo on the mountain. So when you go in and you go in with a knife, whether you believe it or not, we know that that's scary for anyone. Even though society is getting really used to it, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, right now, people are being sold surgery, they're sold implants, right? Mm-hmm. And you can't put foreign objects in the body without poisoning. So anyways, even though when you go in for surgery, you might be terrorized by the knife. But guess what? As soon as the knife goes in here, we are not one person. We are a community of 50 trillion cells. And when you take a knife into here, did you know that every one of these cells goes into contracture in this whole area without you even knowing it? They could put you under and this whole area still goes into contracture. Yeah. How is that? Because there's consciousness in each cell. Now you're saying, well, what's he talking about all this for? Well, because I'm going to tell you something. The more that the cells get terrorized on a cellular level, on an emotional level, because in the human body, you've got all these organs and systems. In every cell, you have all the same organs and systems in every cell. So guess what happens? You've got a nervous system, you've got consciousness. So what do you think you got? You got panic. So that's why when they go in with the knife, the panic from the cells creates all this inflammation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Inflammation causes the scar tissue. And when that scar tissue grows, it wraps itself around the small intestine, large intestine. Okay, so I can ask you questions and we don't have to go down this road. But with all these surgeries, I'm surprised that making love is not painful, that you're not dry down there, that you're not leaking urine, that you actually don't have air and gas coming out of the vagina, that your vagina is not that your organs, internal organs in your vagina aren't falling out. All of this, the pelvic floor is the pelvic floor. The pelvic floor, the muscles, they decide what's going to fall out. And so this is what I was saying, with 11 surgeries here, we can do the perfect day. We can do intermittent fasting till 11 o'clock. We can take all the products. We can do the energy medicine. But if you don't introduce, and if you're already, are you already doing coffee enemas?
Yes.
if you're not doing a coffee enema every day until you reduce this, because all of this, because I know you're living right, I know you're eating right, I know you're thinking right. Well, now you are. But 11 surgeries just on this area. Okay, so one time I work on one person with a cesarean or somebody with an appendix operation, okay, or somebody with a tummy tuck, or somebody that had a hysterectomy, just one of those, it's a mess.
Right. This has been 17 years.
You're such a beautiful person.
So
I would have never
super
known.
mess.
I would have never known that. Well, I'm going to tell you something. If it wasn't for your, okay, you have such a beautiful flowing spirit. And the first time you were on the phone, I noticed that. I mean, everybody, even on here, everybody listening, that you can feel it from her. And if you didn't have that, you would not be here. Because you would not be here. Because there has been such an assault here, okay, all right, that if you held anger for all the stuff that happened, all the stuff you didn't know, then that would have caused what we call cancer. And because cancer, the C stands for corruption, contamination, and conflict. And because you're not doing any of that up here, okay, because people don't get it. Everybody thinks the brain does the thinking. It doesn't. Well, we already know the brain didn't do the thinking. That's why you're in the mess that you are. Yeah. The most intelligent part of the whole human body is in the large intestine. And everybody's going to go, well, come on, that's the garbage can, that's the pooper, that's the sewage disposal. No, it's the most intelligent part. You have 50 trillion cells, you've got 500 trillion bacteria, and they do all the thinking. And you know what? I had a gut feeling I shouldn't have went to surgery. Well, that's right, because see, the so-called brain, okay, you've got your brain, 90% of it is your subconscious, and then you have your mind. Your mind is made up of the beliefs that mommy and daddy and all the systems out there gave you. So that's your mind. So you had a landmine. That landmine blew up her here because she still had a choice. She didn't have to do it. But guess what? You were raised to be a good little girl. And you were raised to listen to men. And mankind's not kind. And you know that now. We don't give up on mankind, but we understand women need to take the power back. And now you're taking your power back, right? You got to take your feminine power back. So the only thing that's going to happen here is that she needs to do, once you've done and got yourself up to the 12 to 18 day advanced water fasting with the ATP, the fulvic, and the Ormus minerals, and doing the ultimate coffee enema, and then doing the things that really love your body, skin brushing, salt glow, pelvic enhancement, right? Or the pelvic squat, and clapping and patting. Are you doing that too?
Started to, yeah.
Okay, so all of those things, and then when you do more of the couples connection, you're more together on all this. Like, here we go, right? Yeah. So here's the deal. Just think what's going to happen when you're a lean, keen, okay, muscle machine, and you will be, and that's the whole deal. And guess what? Women are never going to get there if they don't take fasting in. Yeah. Okay, you know, there was many things that we were taught by Jesus, and one of the main thing was fasting. Yeah. Fasting, you know, because it's like this: feed the spirit, heal the body. Yeah. Feed the body, destroy the spirit. So once we stop focusing on the physical, bring up the invisible, but the invisible can only happen when you're fasting, or when you're doing intermittent fasting, or when you're eating foods that take no energy. Because if you eat 3 meals a day, what are called a good healthy diet out there, that's the same amount of energy that you would expend if you walk 10 miles. And that's exactly been calculated. So it's all going to happen. So understand, do all the exercise you want, all the crunches you want, but the main things that you want to do are things that are going to focus on your hips and your pelvis and your lower abdomen. That's the holy grail. So anything that's going to help to remove scar tissue, anything that's going to create tone. So we know that you really have to back off from the foods, okay? So today's the weekend. I'm not as busy on the weekend today. I'm just writing. But, you know, so what I did was I had a salad, right? So tonight I'm going to have lentil soup. but usually I work all day and I'll do a quart of carrot juice. And then I'll do 40 ounces of carrot juice, and I'll do 40-ounce blender drink. You know, there'll be a couple raw eggs in there. There'll be like the moringa protein powder, then I'll have like the berries in there. I'll have the almond milk in there. I'll have the black gold. I'll have a little bit of magnesium in there, and then I'll blend that up. I'll drink those two things, and then I do another 40 ounces of lemon, cayenne, and honey. Now that's got to be a drink you need. So, and you can, and the honey's great, but you want to do the hot water with lemon, cayenne, and honey. It really helps with weight loss, fighting infection, making you feel really good, your circulation. Okay, and we can go in.
Essential oils?
The essential oils go in all your drinking water.
Yeah.
So whether it's the lemon lift, whether it's the super cinnamon, whether it's the orange burst, they go in there. Remember something. Always structure water, but why not have it enhanced? And you know what? What do you need to put in? 1 to 2 drops in a whole liter. What did that cost you? Well, you can't measure it because it's that cheap, right? So that's what you got to do. And the whole thing is connecting to your breathing. But you know, so you're going to try to fast. Your goal is fasting. So, you know, what you could do in a situation like this, because we're dealing with so much lack of tone, and when we go in here, wow, it's adhesions are everywhere, right? So it's all connected. So what they do is they actually, the adhesions are knots, but then they actually close off the bowel movements. Do you have trouble having bowel movements?
I was until I was doing the coffee enemas. Okay,
so now the coffee enemas have reduced the inflammation. And a lot of emotional stuff that we pile up in here. You know, that's the filter of the body, right? So you know you've got this big truck, right? And well, I look at a truck. It's not like we like, because we're human beings. There's a lot going on.
Exactly.
So, you know, the filter. How old are you?
46.
Yeah.
Right?
So, you know, we go for like 40 years and no filter change, and then we wonder why we become lethargic and we lose our eyesight.
Yeah.
Right? Did you know that I used to wear glasses when I was 17 years old? I don't wear glasses. So, you know, and I have more hair on my head than when I was 5 years ago. All that could come back. All of it. So understand something. We've been taught that things are going to fall out. That's too bad. Men are taught that hair is going to fall out here and that a lot's going to come some other places. Well, I'm not sure what to do about the ears thing. But, you know, I'm always, So, So that's it right there. So it'll be like this. If I was in your situation, I would be doing like 3-day fasting for like the next 6 weeks. Like I'd be doing 4 days and then 3-day fast. 4 days, 3-day fast. Because it's not so hard to come off, and it's really getting that system going. It's like you never get good at anything unless you repeat it a lot.
Absolutely.
So doing like a 3-day fast every week. You know, and then I have some other women that are in your situation, not like quite like this. Everybody's different. And then they go, well, that doesn't feel right to me. And I go, okay, well, let's do 1 day fast on and then eat 1 off, 1 on, 1 on, and it really has helped. Right?
I know you're keen to do the fast. I'm just waiting to have a little more information when we go back and do it. We'll do it on the way down even. So you know what? You've got to find your own groove. And so what you're doing is now you know that you're allowed to communicate with us as much as you want every day. So that's the more you communicate with us, and we have to establish that fact. You know that small little question that we'll ask him next week? Why didn't you dial the phone? Why didn't you dial the phone? Because you forgot about it. So every time you talk to us, you're going to get support. This is different than any other system. Did you ever get a call from us and you felt like scared? Or did you feel like more doubt? Or did you feel like, we got this? Never the doubt.
Okay, so
we got this.
So that's the reality. So the more you call, the more that's going to vanish. All right?
That's awesome.
Any questions?
Some more tactical questions about the salt blow and some of that.
The salt blow?
That kind of stuff.
Salt blow?
Salt blow. Something blow. I don't know what's it called. Colon blow.
Okay. I think we're going to blow. I think we're going to blow right now. Thanks for joining us, and we'll go over this tomorrow. I'll go over this with you, and then we'll come back.
Thank you.
All right?